Hello everyone, this is Father Jude, and this lecture is entitled We Are Bound to Believe. First, we shall look into our objectives. Hopefully, at the end of this lecture, you will understand that believing is a worldwide phenomenon. Second, that trends in religion actually change over time. And that believing is not a genetical misfiring. We shall explain what do we mean by misfiring a little later. Also, and finally, that believing is innate in us, that it is naturally part of us. Believing or faith is hardwired in us. Our reference for this lecture is a material from the Pew Research Center, the title of which is The Global Religious Landscape. This is dated 2010, and a little later we shall get updates from the same Pew Research Center, and the date would be 2015. So we start by looking into the executive summary by the Pew Research Center. In 2010, 8 out of 10, meaning dalawa lang, ang hindi nag-a-identify ng kanilang sarili sa any religious groups. Meaning, 8 in 10 people merong religion. And out of the 6.9 billion world religion or world population in 2010, 5.8 billion ang merong religion. Meaning, if we subtract, if we minus 6.9 billion minus 5.8 billion, that's 1.1 billion ang walang religion in the world. Pero imagine, 6.9 ang world population in 2010, 5.8 billion talaga ang merong religion or those who identify themselves with a religion, and only 1.1 billion ang hindi napapabilang sa kung anumang religion. Now, if we look at this pie, in 2010, Christians ang pinakamalaki in terms of number. That's 31.5% of the world population ang Christians. Pumapangalawa, 23.2% ang Muslim group. And then, pangatlo, yung mga walang religion, 16.3%. Sumunod, 15% Hindus, 7.1% Buddhists, 5.9% folk or traditional religion, 0.8% ang other religions, and then only 0.2% ang Jewish group. Now, in 2010, there are about 2.2 billion Christians. Muslims, 1.6 billion. Those with no religious affiliation, 1.1 billion. This is what I was saying. If we subtract 6.9 billion, okay, world population, 5.8 ang merong religion. Now, if we minus 6.9, okay, minus 5.8, 1.1 billion ang walang religion. Okay, so no religious affiliation is 1.1 billion. Next, Hindus, okay, 1 billion. The Buddhist group, we have 500 million. Folk or traditional religions, 400 million. Other religions, 58 million. And the Jewish group, we have 14 million. If we look at the world map, lahat itong mga red and maroon, yan yung Christians. Okay, so ibig sabihin, in the world, considering that big number, okay, ilan ba yan? 32%? 32% or 31.5% Christians. Okay, in this map, okay, so talagang marami ang Christians in 2010. The green ones are the Muslim groups, and then the gray one here, okay, the religiously unaffiliated, at lahat yan halos ay nasa China. Alright? Ito din yung mapa na yon. Okay, Christians, the red ones or the maroon ones, the brown ones. Muslims, green. Now notice, ito yung Middle East, okay, the northern African region. And also, dito sa Asia, we have Malaysia and also Indonesia. Alright? And then, malaking chunk ng religiously unaffiliated, yung mga walang reliyon, nandito sa gray area, itong gray color, which is actually the whole of China. Now, updates from 2015. The religious profile of the world is rapidly changing, and the reason for this, okay, caused primarily by differences in fertility rates and the size of young people or youth populations among the world's major religions. Again, the basis for the rapidly changing profile of religion in the world, okay, is caused by differences in fertility rates and also size of young people or number of young people in the world's major religions. Now, over the next 4 decades, meaning in the next 4 decades, meaning 40 years, okay, Christians will remain the largest religious group, pero Islam will grow faster than any other major religion. Okay, makikita natin yan later sa percentages. Now again, the reason for this, okay, is the differences in fertility rate and the size of youth population among world's major religions. So ulitin lang natin yon. After 40 years or 40 years from now, Christians will remain the largest group. Pero Islam will grow faster, meaning significant yung growth ng Islam group. Again, ang reason ay the difference in fertility rates and the size of youth population at present. Now, with the current trend, the following are our projections. Now, again, this is from the Pew Research Center dated 2015. The number of Muslims will nearly equal the number of Christians around the world. We said earlier that 40 years from now, Christians will remain the largest group, okay, the largest religious group, pero ang Islam will grow faster, so much so that the number of Muslims, okay, 40 years from now, will nearly equal the number of Christians around the world. Now, the atheist group and the agnostic, okay, agnostics and other people who do not affiliate with any religion, those who have no religious affiliation, will make up a declining share of the world's total population. Mababawasan sila in the next 40 years, meaning yung number nila. Again, ano ang reason? The reason being, okay, differences in fertility rates and size of youth population. Next, the global Buddhist population will be about the same size it was in 2010. So walang pagbabago, while the Hindu group and the Jewish group will be larger than they are today. Samantalang ang Buddhist, pareho lang, ang Hindu ay lalago o dadami pa in the next 40 years. In Europe, okay, Muslims will make up 10% of the overall population. Malaking percentage ito, kaya maintindihan natin yung fast growth, no? Saan na ba yun? Okay, Muslims will nearly equal the number of Christians around the world kasi nga, okay, in the next 4 decades, Christians will remain the largest religious group, pero Islam will grow faster. Okay, Islam will grow faster, and 10% of the overall population in Europe will be Muslims in the next 40 years. India will retain a Hindu majority, but also will have the largest Muslim population of any country in the world. In the US, Christians will decline, babawasan by 3/4, no? From more than 3/4 of the population in 2010 to 2/3 in 2050. Malaking chunk yan na pagbawas. Okay? And also in the US, 40 years from now, Judaism will no longer be the largest non-Christian religion. At present, Christian majority ang US and Judaism is the largest non-Christian religion. Pero 40 years from now, hindi na Judaism ang magiging largest non-Christian religion in America, kundi mga Muslims. Okay? 40 years from now, Muslims will be more numerous than the Jewish population. Kung ngayon, 2010, 2015, 40 years from now, okay, ngayon, Jewish pa ang marami, no, na non-Christian religion in America. 40 years from now, ma-overtake na sila ng Muslim group. Now, 4 out of every 10 Christians in the world will live in sub-Saharan Africa. Okay, anong ibig sabihin nito? Makikita natin yan sa mapa. Ito yung sub-Saharan Africa, okay, and this is Christian, okay. Remember, itong mga red na ito ay Christian groups. All right. In the next 40 years, 4 out of every 10 Christians in the world will live in the sub-Saharan Africa. Again, the reason for this, yung ating fertility rates and the size of youth population today. Now, if we look at the numbers, in 2010, there are about 2.1 billion, kaya yung atin na round off yun, 2.2 billion. Okay, Muslims 1.5, meaning 1.6, okay, round off. Ang unaffiliated ay 1.1. In 2050, okay, 40 years from now, Christians would have 2.9, okay, population. Ang Islam ay 2.7 and the unaffiliated 1.2. And that will make up for Christians 31.4%, 29.7% for Islam or for Muslims, and 13.2% for the religiously unaffiliated. Now we look at the pie itong 2010. Now remember, 31.5% ang Christians, okay, percentage of the global population. This is 2010. Tingnan natin yung 2015, 5 years later, ang 31.5% ay naging, okay, 31.2% na lang. So there is a big decline in terms of percentage. Dito sa 2010, 31.5% pa ang Christians. Okay, dito 31.2 na lang, no? 31.2% na lang. Now balik tayo 2010, ang Islam or Muslims ay 23.2%. 5 years later, okay, 2015, ang 23.2 Muslims ay naging 24.1% already. So malaki yung growth na yon na pinakita ng Muslim groups from 23.2 to 24.1%. Okay? Now, number of people in 2015 in billions, again, Christians will be or was 2.3 billion in 2015, 1.8 billion Muslims, 1.2 religiously unaffiliated, Hindus 1.1, Buddhists 0.5, folk religion 0.4, other religious groups 0.1%, ang Jewish group ay 0.01%. Okay, so makikita natin yung trends in terms of population, in terms of number, nagbabago talaga over time. And we're just talking about 5 years, no? 2010 yung isa, 2015 ito, and the projection of the Pew Research Center is 40 years from now, yun na nga ang magiging growth at magiging decline ng major religious groups in the world. Now, interesting facts about the Pew Research Center material. Ano ba yung mga interesting facts about about religions in 2010? Now, the geographic distribution, several religious groups are heavily concentrated in the Asia-Pacific region, meaning halos lahat ng mga religion ay nasa Asia-Pacific region. Okay, several religious groups, no, heavily concentrated in the Asia-Pacific region. For example, Hindus, marami yan in Asia-Pacific region. Buddhist, ganun din. Folk or traditional religions, other religions, unaffiliated Muslims, Christians, nasa Asia-Pacific region yan lahat. Okay? All of these are in the Asia-Pacific region. Now, interesting facts. But 76% of the religiously unaffiliated are also found in the Asia-Pacific region. Again, ulitin natin. Lahat halos ng mga religion ay present in the Asia-Pacific region. Lahat-lahat ng religion na yan nasa Asia-Pacific region, pero nakakagulat, interestingly, 76% of the population of the religiously unaffiliated are found also in the Asia-Pacific region. Meaning, very religious ang Asia-Pacific region, okay? Pero hindi pala totally religious ang Asia-Pacific region kasi nga merong 76% of the religiously unaffiliated na nasa Asia-Pacific region. Anong interesting doon? Very religious or the presence of all religions halos ay nasa Asia-Pacific, pero nandyan din yung mga walang reliyon. That's interesting, no? Now, all religions are present in Asia, but a majority of no religion is also in Asia. Now, the biggest number of religiously unaffiliated is found in China. Nakita natin kanina yung gray na color sa map. Pakita lang natin ulit. Okay. This is China. Okay, that's about 700 million of the religiously unaffiliated. Okay. So that's 700 million, and this is 2010. This map, okay, this is 2015 already. Okay. So in 2010, ang mga walang reliyon ay 700 million nasa China. 2010, that's 700 million. 5 years later, ang 700 million ay naging 875 million 720,000 religiously unaffiliated. Okay? So from 700, 5 years later, naging 875 na ang religiously unaffiliated. Now, interesting fact also, now this is Muslims, okay? Muslims. 62% of Muslims are also found in the Asia-Pacific region, no? 62%. Only 20% of Muslims live in the Middle East and North Africa. Our usual understanding na ang mga Muslim or majority of the Muslim population, okay, is in the Middle East. Mali pala. So this is interesting fact because only 20% are in the Middle East and North Africa because 62% of Muslims are in the Asia-Pacific region. 44% of Jews live in America. That's more or less, halos mag 50% ng mga Jews ay nasa North America. 41% live in the Middle East and North Africa, and only 15% of the total Jewish population of the world are in Israel. So parang nakaka-interest, no? Nakakagulat na only 15% ang nasa Israel. At halos lahat sa kanila, 44% nasa America, North America, and 41% in the Middle East and North Africa. Okay? Now, Hindus naman, 97% of Hindus live in the world's 3 Hindu majority countries, India, Mauritius, and Nepal. So 97% in these 3 countries. So 3% na lang ang wala sa India, Mauritius, and Nepal. Now, 87% of Christians are found in 157 Christian majority countries. Kaya nakita natin sa mapa kanina, talagang napakalaki nung color na brown or red in the world map kasi nga 157 countries talaga ang presence, no, ng Christians in the world. Okay, nasaan na ba yun? Alright. Now, Muslims are a majority in 49 countries, kaya compared to Christians, 157 countries. Ang Muslims ay concentrated in only 49 countries, including 19 of the 20 countries in the Middle East and North Africa. The majority of the religiously unaffiliated naman are found in 6 countries. Saan makikita yung mga walang reliyon? Okay, number 1 syempre is China. Okay, by far the largest. And also the religiously unaffiliated are found in the Czech Republic, Estonia, Hong Kong, Japan, and North Korea. There are 7 countries sa Buddhist naman, Bhutan, Burma, Cambodia, Laos, Mongolia, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. And then lastly, the Jewish group, Israel is the only country with a Jewish majority. Pero do not forget na kahit Jewish majority ang nasa Israel, pero that's only how many percent? Kanina nakita natin. Okay, 44% ang nasa Amerika, 41% sa Africa and the Middle East, and only 15% ang nasa Israel. Okay? Now, that's the geographic distribution of religious groups. Okay, we'll skip that. Now, what do we get from this data? What are our impressions from this data by or from the Pew Research Center? That religion is a worldwide phenomenon. Nakita naman natin sa mapa yan kanina, no? Halos lahat ng mapa in the world merong color except yung gray one na unaffiliated sa China. Okay? So religion is actually a worldwide phenomenon. Makikita natin that faith is part of the human psyche. Even the religiously unaffiliated somehow believes in a supreme being. Okay? So, from this data, we can gather that religion is not only a matter for the Filipino people or for the people in the Vatican or in Italy. That religion is a worldwide phenomenon. Kahit saan ka mapunta, merong reliyon. Okay? So that we can understand, malamang, faith is part of our human psyche, so that even those who are unaffiliated na walang mga reliyon ay somehow believes in a supreme being. Even the atheists believe that there is no supreme being. So that believing, even those who do not believe actually believe that they do not believe. Okay? Alam mo yung meron silang conviction, okay? Meron silang belief na walang pananampalataya. Ibig sabihin, they believe that there is no God. Meaning, believing that there is no God is also believing. Is also a conviction that there is none. There is no supreme being. Okay, that we are indeed doomed to believe. Again, religion is a worldwide phenomenon. Nakita natin sa mapa yan. Okay, and from these data, we gather that faith is a part of the human psyche, so that even the religiously unaffiliated somehow believes that there is a God. Kahit nga ang mga atheists na nagsasabi walang Diyos, yung kanilang pagsabi na walang Diyos somehow is also a kind of believing. I believe that there is no God. Okay, that's the atheists. Okay, so ibig sabihin, when they say, I believe there is no God, that is also some sort or some kind of believing. Alright, so that we are indeed doomed to believe. Now, in 2013, Rainier said that spirituality or belief or faith is innately hardwired into us. Pag sabing hardwired, parang nakawire sa atin, parang nakagapos sa atin, innately. Faith or spirituality is hardwired, parang sobrang nakagapos, sobrang nakadikit sa atin innately, sa ating pagkatao. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo mawawala sa iyo yan because it is wired, as it were, into you. So that, according to Rainier, we were made to believe and to be moral. Ibig sabihin, nilikha tayo ng Diyos para manampalataya, para maging moral. No? No one is exempted. We are bound to believe. The fact that we are humans inevitably makes us believing beings. There is a questionnaire by Rainier, and the result of which shows that 7% believe that God does not exist. 10% from this survey says 10% doesn't matter to me, that God does not matter to me. 19% said that God is someone I'd like to know more about. And 49% said that God is close to me. 15% said, I don't know. No? I don't know about God. Now, from this survey, we can say that half of the respondents actually indicated that God was close to them. Remember, 49%. Half of the respondents actually said they believe in God and that God is close to them. Next, almost 1/5 indicated a desire to know God more, and this shows that even in the midst of modernism and secularism, faith matters and that religion is still relevant today. According to Pascal Boyer, why and how is religious thought so pervasive in human societies? Bakit kaya ang religion ay pervasive? Ano bang ibig sabihin ng pervasive? Okay? Religion is so pervasive in human society. Pag sabing pervasive, ang ibig sabihin yan, okay, it is an adjective, especially of an unwelcome influence or physical effects. It is spreading widely throughout an area or a group of people. Bakit kaya kumakalat ng mabilis into the human societies ang religion or religious thought? If the relevance and case for God seems so weak, okay, kung mahina yung religious thought, bakit kaya, why then is it so prevalent and pervasive across all societies and throughout history? Bakit hanggang ngayon pinag-uusapan pa rin natin ang pananampalataya? Bakit hanggang sa panahon natin ngayon, dito sa NDTC, we're still talking about religion? Bakit hanggang ngayon, we're still talking about God? That's the point of Pascal Boyer. Bakit kaya napaka-pervasive ng religious thought in our human societies? Bakit hanggang ngayon, relevant pa rin, okay, ang religion? Cognitive research asks, what in the human makeup renders religion possible and successful? Okay, bakit kaya, no? Bakit kaya nasa isipan pa rin natin ang Diyos, nasa isipan pa rin natin ang reliyon, nasa isipan pa rin natin ang pananampalataya, believing, okay, faith, etc., etc. Religious thought and behavior can be considered part of natural human capacities like music, political systems, family relations, or ethnic coalitions. Ibig sabihin, part of our human nature. Okay? Kung halimbawa, mahilig ka sa music, saan kayo nanggaling yung pagkahilig mo sa music? Okay? You will wonder, sa panahon natin ngayon, ang daming naa-addict sa Mobile Legend. Kahit ako naglalaro ako ng Mobile Legend, minsan laro tayo. Anyway, saan nanggagaling yung desire mo to play more? Saan nanggagaling yung iyong kagustuhan na manalo? Okay? For example, political systems. Bakit o saan nanggagaling yung desire ng ating mga politicians to serve the people? Family relations or ethnic coalitions. Saan nanggagaling yung love natin sa ating family? Okay? So, it is actually part of our human nature. Part of our human nature to value people, to value music, to value the political systems, etc., etc. At sinasabi ni Pascal Boyer, religious thought and behavior, okay, can be considered a part of our human nature, katulad lang ng ating nature towards music, political systems, etc., etc. Conclusion natin, according to Pascal Boyer, religious thoughts seem to be an emergent property of our standard cognitive capacities. Again, it is part of us, no? That it is part of our human makeup. To believe is innate. It is part of being human. Parang yung pagkain, pag walang pagkain, patay ka na. Pag hindi ka kumakain, baka hindi ka na tao. Alright? Pag hindi ka umiinom, baka hindi ka tao. Pag hindi ka marunong mag-appreciate ng art, music, etc., etc., sandali, baka hindi ka tao. Okay? So that it is part of our human nature, part of our human makeup, to believe is part of us. It can never be separated from us. Similar to our desire and drive for music, visual art, cuisine, politics, economic institutions, and fashion, religious concepts and activities hijack our cognitive resources. Sabi ko kanina, saan nanggagaling yung desire mo to play more Mobile Legend? Saan nanggagaling yung desire mo for music? Bakit nahilig ka sa pagkanta? Bakit nahilig ka sa arts? Bakit nahilig ka sa politics or economy or pagluluto, etc., etc.? Parang nahahijack yung ating utak, nahahijack yung isipan mo, maglalaro ka pa. Parang gusto mo pang maglingkod, gusto mo pang mag-appreciate ng art. Katulad din ng religious concepts yan, sinasabi ni Pascal Boyer, okay, ang religious concepts, faith or religion, actually hijacks, okay, our cognitive resources. Para kang hinahatak para maniwala. Okay? Katulad nga ng paglalaro ng Mobile Legend or other games on your cellphone, para kang hinahijack, parang hinahijack yung utak mo, pero gustong-gusto mo pa rin gawin. Parang naging part na sa iyo yung paglalaro. Okay? Katulad lang ng pag-appreciate ng arts, ng music, etc., etc. In other words, our brains are wired to have non-physical friends just like we are wired for musical, artistic, political, cuisine, and fashion expression. Okay? Parang nakatali, parang nakawire yung ating mga utak para magustuhan natin yung music. Parang hindi ka ka-escape, kundi magustuhan mo yung music, yung arts, politics, fashion, kahit yung paglalaro ng Mobile Legend. Parang naka-wire yung utak mo, yung system mo para magustuhan mo, para ma-appreciate mo. Ganun din yung religious thought, ganun din yung faith, ganun din ang religion. All our other capacities are met and satisfied through existing things. Halimbawa, food, okay? Hunger, pag gutom ka, nasasatisfy yan ng pagkain. Okay? Aesthetics, nasasatisfy yan ng arts, drama, music. Yung ating need for human associations ay nasusolusyonan, nasasatisfy ng politics, organizations, clubs, etc., etc. Now, according to C.S. Lewis, ito very interesting po ito. Creatures are not born with desires unless satisfaction for those desires exists. Okay? Ano ba itong mga desires? A baby feels hunger. Well, there is such thing as food. Yung desire mo for food dahil ikaw ay gutom. A duckling wants to swim. Gustong mo lumangoy, well, there is such a thing as water. Gustong lumangoy, kagustuhan, desire na lumangoy, ang satisfaction yan kasi may water. Men, okay, or women, okay, everybody feels sexual desire. Well, there is such a thing as sex. Now, this is very important. If I find myself a desire, if I find in myself a desire, which no experience in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that I was made for another world. This is from the book of C.S. Lewis, Mere Christianity. Uulitin lang natin yun. Okay? Creatures are not born with desires unless satisfaction for those desires exists. Ibig sabihin, meron tayong gusto at nasusolusyonan ka agad yan. Kung ikaw ay gutom, gusto mo ng pagkain or nasusolusyonan ang iyong gutom ng pagkain. Ganun din, if you are thirsty, ang solusyon dyan o satisfaction dyan ay water. If you feel sexual desires, okay, meron ding sex. Ibig sabihin, nasasatisfy. Alright? Now, very important na sinabi ni C.S. Lewis, okay, if I find in myself, kung meron sa aking sarili na desire, kagustuhan, which no experience in this world can satisfy, walang makasatisfy in this world sa ganong desire, then, most probably, okay, I was made for another world. If I have a desire which I cannot find in this world its satisfaction, maybe this desire can be satisfied in another world. We repeat that. If I have a desire which I cannot find a satisfaction in this world, maybe the probable explanation would be that I am made or I was made for another world. The satisfaction for this desire is in another world. Okay? So why are we bound to believe? Boyer is showing that these different but innate capacities of morality and religious belief integrate within us. We are made to believe and to be moral. Okay? If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, then maybe it's a duck. Remember the need for God. If it's not satisfied here, maybe it can be satisfied somewhere else. Okay? The human disposition to morality and innate belief in God lend support to the idea that there is a God who has indeed made us this way. Ibig sabihin, hindi ito genetic misfiring. Pag sabing genetic misfiring, hindi ito pataka lang na ego ka lang, that's why you need God. Okay? When you appreciate music, it doesn't mean that you were hit somewhere that you are inclined to music. Okay? This is not a genetic misfiring. Hunger, for example, is not a misfiring of genes. Hindi nagkagulo ang iyong genes kaya ka nagkaroon ng desire for food. Hindi rin nagkaroon ng misfiring sa iyong sarili, sa iyong utak para mag-appreciate ka ng art. Okay? Ang act of kindness, doing good, is also not a misfiring. Generosity is not also a misfiring. Ganun din ang religious thoughts, okay, are also not a misfiring. Hindi ito nagkagulo lang ang utak mo, ang puso mo para magkaroon ka ng pananampalataya. Okay? The most probable explanation according to our resources, okay, that God actually made you to be like this or to be like that. That God intended that faith should be innate in us, that faith or believing should be part of us, hardwired in us from the very beginning. There is no unique domain for religion in human minds, no? The evidence shows that the mind has no single belief network, but a myriad distinct networks that contribute to making religious claims quite natural to many people, if not for all of us. To snuff out our disposition to believe and instead engender disbelief, which many of us are able to do, requires that we engage in a deliberate, effortful work against our natural cognitive dispositions. What we're saying thus far is this: kung ang pananampalataya ay hardwired in us, innate in us, okay, we will have to deliberately, effortful, okay, it would need our deliberate action to go against our natural tendencies, natural cognitive dispositions para hindi maniwala. Kasi nga, from our resources, we are bound to believe because we are made this way. It is hardwired into us, it is innate in us, and it will take a deliberate action to go against it. To disbelieve, okay, to not believe requires a deliberate action, okay, because it goes beyond, it goes against our natural cognitive disposition. We are bound to believe because unbelief goes against our very nature as human beings. Mag-e-effort ka. Ibig sabihin, deliberately mag-e-effort ka to contradict who you are. Your person is a religious person, is a believing person. God made us this way. We are made to believe. We are made to have faith. We are made to be moral, and we have to go against our nature to say that we do not believe. We are bound to believe because unbelief goes against our very nature as human beings. Thank you very much. Whew. Anyway, we are bound to believe because we were created like this. We are created by God to believe in God, to believe in His works, to believe in His love. To go against it or to say that I do not believe means that I am going against my nature as a human person. Thank you very much. I hope this helps. I hope we got something. I hope we were able to understand as to our objectives, that believing is a worldwide phenomenon that we have seen already in the maps. It is not just the Philippines that believes, it is the whole wide world, no? Believing is a worldwide phenomenon. Religious trends change over time, sabi natin. It depends on the birth rate, okay, and also fertility rates rather, and also the youth population of major religions. Believing is not just a genetical misfiring because it is It is a myriad of systems in our being. Okay, believing is not just a misfiring of some kind, and believing is innate and hardwired into us. No, it is our very nature to believe. Thank you very much. God bless you all.